Hello and welcome to the Dutchin channel. It's Thursday the 21st of March 2024. It's 10 o'clock in the morning and we're going to run through the Chepstow card for this afternoon, but with a bit of a difference. Someone did send me a question and said how would I be able to pick out lay bets for them. So I'm going to just run through the whole of the card where we possibly can have a bet and we'll take it from there. So opening up on the 2:15, you see there's 9 runners going to post there. And the first thing we need to do is go into Matchbook and bring up the first race at Chepstow this afternoon. And what we're going to do, we're going to copy all of these prices in, and at the moment it's 102.28. So it's okay, but this is only for information. These aren't to go out there and do these exact bets. So we'll say at the moment, I mean, naturally high, when we done the video earlier was 20, now that's 30. We'll do them in card order that I've got them in, of my selections. So we've got 30, 5.2, then we've got Salem is 15, Portstone is 3.8, Come to Pass 22, Queen of Steel is 4.6, Dance Havana is 11.5, Double Click is 13.5, and Mac Be Lucky is 23. So that's all the horses that are done. Now you can see when you come here that over round is exactly the same. It's 102.28. It means basically if you lay out 102.28 that you would return 100. So you would make a slight loss. That's the idea of it anyway. So the first thing we're going to do is exactly the same as if we were going to do horses to win, but we're going to do horses to lose. So the same formula that we start on is horses to win. So where we would lay out £50, we start with the first one, 333. We come down, now we're on 22.56, now 29.23, and now we're on £55.55. And that's the nearest one to 50 there is, but it needs to be over 50. So those first 4 would be our selections to win the race. Because we want to lose the race, we take those out of the game. We don't need to bet on those 4 at all because we've done them to win. So effectively, if we're laying something, we wouldn't want to lay one of our selections that we think might win the race. So now that leaves us the bottom 5 selections. How do we get our bets for this race? Well, first of all, if you come across to this column, which is column Z, you will see that I've got my own made up prices here. Now these are all my ratings added up and divided. So it's like a tote. So if my selection at the top there says 17,168, it gets put into 106.314, then it pushes out an SP of 6.19. So these last 5 horses, this is why I can't do unraced, because they don't give me a rating, and I need the ratings for more than one use. So those 5 here, you see next to that in column, well, in row 5, which is come to pass. Now, come to pass, we make 9.95, but the matchbook price at the moment is 22. So this would be a bet for us to win the race because their price is bigger than ours. So effectively, it's a value bet. So we think, well, that could win because the price is bigger than we estimated. So because we think it will win, we've got to take it off because we're finding losers. Then number 6, or my 6th selection down, is Queen of Steel. I've got this at my SP of 10, but Matchbook have only got 4.6. So this is under what I would be looking for to think that was a value bet. So for me, I don't think that will win. So that becomes a bet for us. And you can see that that bet is already in there at £21.74. Then moving into selection 7, which is Dance Havana, I've got it at 12.03 and it's currently 11.5. So again, it's under my price, so I wouldn't back this, and it would require a stake of £8.70 to lose. So that would be on your lay side. So if you was coming here, the lay at the moment is 95.96. Again, it's over 4% out, so you wouldn't touch this race till it gets a couple of minutes due or 5 minutes before the race is due off. But don't forget, this is for information purposes only. It doesn't mean go out and back these ones, because at the moment that 11.5 could end up trading 13 and then it becomes a value bet. But at present, it doesn't. But I'm just trying to explain this as if it was off in 5 minutes' time. And of course, some of these SPs may be completely different later on. We might end up only backing, would have backed 3 horses to win. We might end up doing this one. This is just to show you an example. That's all it is at the moment. Then we've got Double Click, 14.66. And Matchbook say to me, well, we can give you 13.5. Well, that's no good because I've got it a bigger price than what they've got it. So that becomes a bet to lose, which is 7.41. Then I've got the outsider, Matt Be Lucky, 20.56. And then Matchbook go, I'll give you 23. And you think, yep, that's good because that's value. So that would become a win bet because the price is slightly larger. So that will be a no bet. So the 3 that we would be doing here to lose, and as I say, this doesn't mean go out and do it because the prices on every horse could be different 5 minutes early off. But your first selection would be Queen of Steel to lose. Then you would want Dance Havana to lose and Double Click to lose. If all 3 of those lose, your profit will be £37.84. Now that £37.84 would be yours. Nothing's won because now you've got to get in your head that you're doing losers instead of winners. But if one of those were to win, then what you've done, like we do the other way around, we try to win £100. Now, if one of these wins that we've done to lose, you're going to lose £100. So the way it works now is if one of those horses win, you will have to pay out of your bank £100, but you will receive back the £37.84. All right, because that was your stake to begin with. So you will get your stake, but you will have £100 taken away from your bank, and you must have that money in your bank before you can strike these bets. So you would lose £62.16 on that race if one of those three was to win. Hope I've explained that okay for you, but it's not as easy sometimes as it looks. I think I used the phrase the other day: if you write with your right hand and then you try and write something with your left hand, unless you're ambidextrous, then it's going to be difficult to write exactly the same with your left hand. This is pretty much the same. When you go out there to back horses to win, it's in your head, you know what you've got to do. But when you're backing losers to win for you, it's totally the other way around. So what we'll do, we'll move into the second race at Chepstow. And what we'll do here again, we'll just copy all the prices out. But instead of looking at this over-round figure of 1.23, what you've got to do here is look at the other one, because it's the other way around. So 96.24 tells you you're 3.76 under what you should be. So until that rises up to maybe 98.5, 99, then you wouldn't have a bet anyway. So we'll start with Lagi False, which is now at 2.02. And again, it's just information. 3.3 for Love Tree. 13.5 for Coco Brave. And as you can see, the prices of some of these horses are changing while I'm doing it, but it doesn't matter. 27 for Jacqueline. Then we've got Barbie Girls at 170. Then 230, Don't Shed a Tear, which I thought was quite good, that one. Then we've got 310, Resiliently So. 200 for Ellie Tara. 11.5 Miss Hunky Dory. Then we've got Nan Brady at 220. And the other one, Alicia, is currently 280. Right, so the way we're going to do this, again, we're going to start in that first column. We know the first one is 30.3. As we move to the second one, it goes over 50. So that was our win part. So you take them off because you've done them to win. And now again, we need to go to My SP and the Matchbook SP. And you'll see that I have 9.81 for Miss Hunky Dory. Matchbook tell me 11.5. That's good for me because it's value, but it's not good if you want it to lose. So you won't be backing that one. Then the next horse down, which is Barbie Girls, you'll see we give 11.22. They say no, it's 170. We'll take that. So that would be a loser for us as well. Then we move down to Jacqueline. Our SP is 12.71, and 27 again from Matchbook would be a good price. So we'll scrub that one as well. Then our next one would be Coco Brave. I've got it at 14.85. And Matchbook say, no, it's only £13.50, so this wouldn't be a good bet for us. So we would do that to lose for £7.41. But of course, closer to the race, this is just an example. That could be bigger than that price, and then you wouldn't back it at all. Now, all the rest of these horses underneath are at very high prices, and ours are a lot lower than that. So we know that these are going to be value, so not value to us. All right, that only leaves one horse in this race, and that is Coco Brave. But this is like backing a long odds-on shot to win. When you think, oh, is it going to win? And then your heart starts going because you put £100 on it to win a tenner. It's pointless bets. This is pretty much the same as that. You're only going to bet one in the race at £7.41. So if it loses, yes, you get £7.41 back. And there are 10 other runners that can beat that one. But if it was to win, you then got to find £100 to give back to the bank because somebody else has backed it at your price you've laid them. So you would effectively get the £7.41 to keep, but they would then take £92.59 from your account, because that would be your loss on that lay bet. Because don't forget, you're doing it to lose and not to win. I hope this is making some kind of sense anyway. We'll move into race 3. This is the 3:15. And we'll see there that we've got 6 runners. And number 1 there, Move the Chains. Move the Chains, currently 6.8. Glacier's Express is 2.96. Golden Sovereign is 9.6. Lyrical Genius is 8.2. Shop Boy is 5.9. And Silver in Disguise is 7.6. So you'll see here that the over-round price is 101.21, which is really good. But the lay this time is 98.91, which is also very good. So what we'll do, we'll start again here. And once we get to over £50, we stop. So we'll add it to the next one, which now comes to 48.49. We go again, and now it's over 50. So those 3 we would have done to win. So we scratched them off because we're looking for losers. And this side again, as we go into Lyrical Genius, 8.93. The Matchbook SP is lower at 8.2. So that would be a bet for us at £12.20. Into Shop Boy, we've got 9.63. And Matchbook go, no, it's only 5.9. So we go, all right, that's got to be a loser as well, 16.95. And the same with the last selection, Silver in Disguise, 19.52, I think it should be. They're only offering 7.6. So £13.16 would be to lose. So those 3 selections there come to £42.30. And if all 3 of those selections lose, then you will take £42.30 as your profit for that race. But again, if one of them was to win, you're going to have to pay £100, which means you keep the £42.30 and you'll pay £57.70 to Matchbook. So you will lose, all right, if one of them wins. But otherwise, £42.30 isn't bad, because Don't forget, it should be easier to find a loser than it is a winner, because a winner, you've only got one in this race. But also in this race, you've got 5 losers. So the SPs tell you that it should be a lot easier to back losers. So if we go back to race 1, 37.84, and then you've got £7.41, and then you've got £42.30. So it could be £87 to £88 in front if all of those were to lose. But you just need one winner and you will be losing money. But this is most probably one of my favourite systems, and it is a very profitable one. Very profitable. I think it's better than the one I'm doing now, but the one I'm doing currently and showing you is still profiting very, very well. So we'll move into the 4th race, and this time it's the 350. And again, all I'm going to do for information purposes is just put these prices out at what they are. 102.58, a little bit over the top anyway, and the other side is very, very good. 99.88, that is pretty much as it should be. So Lady Balco is 184. Then we've got Joe Lescriba is 8. Then 9.8 for Crossbow. $12 on Valens Rui. $10.5 Ask Brewster. 14.5 on Richardson. And we would have 80 on Rain Fee. So they would be our bets here. You can see down here that the 3.06 or 3.06 over round is too high. And always remember, when you're betting to win, you're on the blue side, and when you're doing horses to lose, you're on the pink side. Start as per normal, coming down from the top. You'll see that the first one's already over 50, so that will be a no bet. We won't be backing Lady Balco. Then we start from the My SP. We can see that the Matchbook SP is higher, so this will also be a no bet. And the same for this one, 9.42, showing 14.5 Matchbook, so that's a no bet. 11.44, and they only have 9.8. That becomes a bet at £10.20. And the same with the next one, 11.5. It's only 10.5 there, so that would be another bet. That's 9.52 stakes. Then I've got 12 on the next. They've got 8, so that would be another bet. That's 12.5. And here we've got 23. They've got 80, and that's value for us. So that will not be one of the selections. So the 3 that we've come up with here, Crossbow, Ask Brewster, and Joe Lescriba, those 3 together combined will put in your bank 32.23, because that will be your profit combined if all 3 lose. But if one of those were to win, as I say, it's £100 less the £32.23, because that's the money they betted with. So you will lose £67.77. And I hope people are pretty much understanding how we narrow it down to only a few bets a race. But it is a frightening system if you're just laying out like that one earlier, £7.41, and that was to come through and win. And then you've got to pay out the rest up to £100. That's where it's not good. But of course, you need to continue doing the system. You still need to do the £7.41, but you can't treat it as one day. Like I say, with my system at the moment, it's a long-term project. If there are 20 races in a day, you back in 20 races. Then you carry on tomorrow and the day after and the day after. If you decide you're just going to do, like today, this Chepstow meeting that I show you, then you won't get the true reflex of what you've won over that day or lost over that day. So that £7.41, you might think I lost £92, but all the rest might win there. And it's covered itself. That's why you still have to do those. Yesterday, when I was doing the wins, I had, I think it was about 4 or 5 that were odds on, and they all won. But I've had them going back this week where quite a few of them have lost. But all you've got to do is keep looking forward, not backwards. I backed El Fabiolo at Cheltenham 2-9. It wasn't a lot of money you had to lose if you were doing it the other way around. You might have made a big profit on the lay. But when you're backing at 2-9, I'm going to go out there and win £11 for a 50 stake. And you think, was it worth it afterwards? But it was on reflection to the other ones that I do, because it levels itself out. And never look at anything. Just keep looking at that profit figure getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Don't worry about your losers. They'll take care of themselves. So as we move in now to race 5, this is the 425 at Chepstow. Again, we go into the matchbook site, and we'll do them again in the order I've got them to win, which is Twilight Glory. That's showing at 3.35. Puddles in the Park is 4. Then we've got Leading Swoop, 4.4. Shady Bee, 7.2. Rob Sam is 20. Veton Cool is 19.5. Here Comes Bob, 65. And the outsider is the Lion Dancer. Well, one of the outsiders, that's 60. Right, so that's all the prices again. You can see down here, the over round is 104.8, so that isn't great. You need, when you're doing bets like laying, you need to wait 5 minutes to be off. So what we do, we start from that top one again, which is 29.85, and when it goes over 50, and I mean over, right, then that's when we stop. So it needs to be £50 or over. So the second selection there added is 31.52, and it's up to 45.41, and then it goes over. So those 4 would be our 4 bets if we were going to do win, and we're going to do lose, so we need to cross them out. And again, with the last 4 we got left, we come into my SP, which is 10.96. Matchbook Go 19.5. That's a bet for us, so that's got to be a loser. Then again, 11.45, we've got Rob Sam and Matchbook Go. No, it's 20 here, so that's a value bet, so we take that off. And then Puddles in the Park, 11.49. only showing 4. So that would be a bet at 25. And the last selection, we got 20. Again, matchbook goes 65. That's a bet for us, so that needs to lose. And we've only got one selection in this race, which is Puddles in the Park. We stake £25. That will be our profit if it loses. And if it was to win, again, we pay £100 out of our bank, less the 25 that we've got for the bet. So we would lose £75 if Puddles in the Park were to win. So whereas I try and lay out stakes of £25, £50 a race, in this you can lose anything up to 50 or even 100 nearly, especially if you're betting a silly priced horse, of say 80 to 1, and you're going to win £1.25, well, you're going to lose 98.75. So you've got to remember you need a bigger bank of money to start this one off. And the last race at Chepstow is going to be a no race, if you remember. Going back, just to recap, in the first race, you would want to lay Queen of Steel, Dance Savannah and Double Click, and that would profit 37.84. And in the second race, you would only lay Coco Brave, and that would be a profit of £7.41. And in the 315, you would go with the 3 that I've given as the outsiders: Lyrical Genius, Shop Boy and Silver in Disguise. They will profit you £42.30 if they lose. Then in the 350, Crossbow, Ask Brewster and Joe Lescriba. If all those 3 lose, you would profit £32.23. And then our last betting race, which will be the 425, there's just one here: Puddles in the Park, £25 profit. And that would be it. And we all know what happens if any of those loses. So let's just quickly go through these on the calculator. You have one there of £37.84 if that was to win. And then I'll show you the difference here of what it is if you lose 1 or lose 2 races. So after 2 races, I've done that wrong. I told you, I think sometimes it's quicker to do it in my head than on a calculator. Right, you've got your £7.41 plus your £37.84 from the first race. These are the 2 profit figures that you'll have if all of these lose. Then you got plus £42.30 from race 3. Race 4 profit would be £32.23. And in the last race, there was just the one bet there. You would win £25 if that one was to lose. So your total profits in 5 races, if everything lost, your profit would be £144.78. So you can afford one of those to lose out of 5 and still walk away with a £44.78 profit. But once you start losing a second one is when then you start losing money, because then you'll be losing £55.22 at the meeting. But as I say, it is a very good system and it profits me very, very well. And that kind of money would be a nice day's work, really. But whether you would get something come and beat you, gambling is just that way. it it happens. I don't win every day, and the average punter doesn't win every day. Someone might tell you they only tell you the win part, they never tell you the losers. So let's see how that gets on as well today. I will follow that, and I will post that in the results show tonight. But it will be with the proper Betfair SP prices, and I do mean Betfair SP prices, or what I use at the end of the evening, and then we'll go back on it and match them against my prices, and then see how much we would have won and see how much we did win. So other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up tonight. Thank you.